Previously at Worlds.
Welcome all of you to the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship 2024!
The puzzlers did not come to play this year. Kristen and Alejandro both won their individual and their pairs quarterfinals. But it was Kati who set a new record at Worlds, finishing her puzzle in only 26:39. Everybody brought their best puzzling, including some newcomers to the world stage. I had a dramatic start. I got the wrong puzzle! But I made it through in both individual and pairs. So now that you're all caught up, it is time for the semifinals of the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships. We're at the beginning of day 3. So today I'm going to cover all 7 of the semifinal rounds. But before we get started, today's video is sponsored by Ravensburger, and they also sponsored my trip to Spain and my camera person, Valentina, so that I could make these videos for all of you. Okay, so we're going to be starting with the individual semifinals. For these, they're pulling in 60 puzzlers from each quarterfinal, and we'll have 90 minutes to solve a 500-piece puzzle.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god! Ooh! Oh, fun! Oh, that's gonna be fast. That's gonna be super fast. Well, for a very intense round, this puzzle is so cute and colorful. But I knew it was going to go fast since it's a pretty easy illustration. So looking at some strategies, Kristen has done quite a bit of sorting and is starting at the bottom. Kati is starting with the orange pieces, and Christian is starting with the edge. Looking at my progress in the first 10 minutes, I got started with the edge, but I got really intimidated by the blue section, so I actually started at the bottom and with anything orange. But I'll just tell you guys right now, I am not a front runner in this round, so let's go back to the actual fast puzzlers.
The competition's got serious now. You thought it was serious. You thought it was exciting yesterday?
Yes.
Wait till you see today. Not a single person in the room has ever seen this puzzle or completed this puzzle, so we're talking absolutely even playing field. One of the things I find fascinating about speed puzzling is how differently everybody sees an image and sees the pieces on their table. There's no rhyme or reason to it. We all see it differently. And I guess seeing the people start from top to bottom are seeing the background rather than the forefront. And then you've got others, you can see them working in colour and pattern patches, and they're seeing the forefront of the picture.
Right.
Okay, we're at 20 minutes, and pretty much everyone has done that blue section, except, me, and also Kati, to be fair. But look at how similar Kristen's is looking to Veronica's. Veronica has to attach that bottom section, but otherwise, they're at almost the same point. But now that we're coming up on the home stretch, let's just watch these top puzzlers battle it out and see who will get that #1 spot heading into the final.
Just moved that section over and it was like, oh goodness.
The puzzle looks nearly finished.
I know, right? Okay, wait. Kati looks further along. Do we have enough judges? How's this going to go? I mean, they're going to have to be running from one table to the other at this point. This is going to be so close, everyone.
It changes every couple of seconds.
I know. Oh my gosh, Kati's got it. Kati's got it. She's got so few pieces left. Right around 34.
I told you this girl, we got to watch her. She is some, and the best thing is she has no idea she's about to win.
No.
Oh my.
Yes. 33, 58. Look at that.
Wow. It's going to give her confidence for the final.
It is.
Yes.
How could it not?
So Kati swoops in and beats every single one of these amazing puzzlers for first place. But it's only 44 seconds later until Kristen gets second.
Well done.
Wow.
Puzzle
Fantastic.
superstar right there.
Yes.
So then it's Veronica who gets third place. And then Christian gets fourth.
Oh, there's Alice flying in.
Oh my gosh, Alice.
Yeah.
She's going to do it.
Wow.
Look at that. We have not seen Alice. I feel like we haven't seen her at all.
One more piece and Bob's your uncle, Alice.
37, 36.
Hannah.
Ah, look at that. Hannah from Finland.
It's so great to see all the happy faces at the finish, yeah? But you see as well how tiring it might be, yeah?
People ask very often, do you consider this a sport? What's your response to that?
I believe so. I believe so. Because you need to develop not only the physical strength, you need to develop as well the mindset to be able to do it.
Well, after all of those finishes, I'm getting there. Here's where I was when Kati won. She is just on another level. And it's only at 42 minutes that I'm finally doing that blue section. I really think I could have done it a lot earlier, but by 45 minutes, I'm just about done. Oh man, that was fun. That was a fun one. What was it? 46. That's really good for a first time. I heard a lot of cheers, but not an overwhelming amount of cheers, so everyone up front has already finished though. Oh my god, I beat Yvonne. Congrats on beating me. Yeah, oh yeah, I saw you on the live stream and I was like, I beat Yvonne. So my final placement was 35th place, which is about what I got in the final last year. And this is only the semifinal, but I made it through to the finals and I was happy with my performance. I really do think that is about as fast as I personally could have done this puzzle for the first time. But speaking of fast, let's hear a little bit more from Kati in her post-puzzle interview.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
I'm shaking more than while assembling. You realize if a camera person standing next to you or not.
Right?
And in the beginning, I felt like I was slow and nobody was standing around me. So I felt like, okay, maybe Christian and Kristen are gonna be faster than me. And then at some point I realized I had very few pieces left and nobody had finished one. And I was thinking, okay, it's only like around 20 pieces. It's gonna be close. Either it's gonna be tight or I'm able to win. And then I was just like, and then I realized I had only 2 pieces and I was
Were those last 2 pieces when you realised no one else has won?
Yeah.
Were they so hard to put in?
No.
Oh, okay.
They came in very easily, luckily.
So before I get to the data, something else really amazing happened. We had an hour and a half to do this puzzle, but by an hour 15, only 2 puzzlers were left. At an hour 18, Karen from Brazil finished, and then everyone was cheering on Gosia from Poland.
Listen, this is the best thing that could have happened to me, because when I was finishing the first puzzle, the Paris puzzle, I was not on live stream at all. So my mother only saw me like standing from above, and there was nobody next to me when I finished. So like I have 10 minutes that I can show to my family, and it's like, this is me. I think I'm going to try to be last every single time.
Oh my God, everyone's gonna cheer her into the end. She's loving This is my favourite moment so far. It is.
What a winner, well done everybody.
That was the most beautiful moment.
Well, that was a record-breaking round because it's the first time ever at Worlds that every single person has finished their puzzle. But the times were so close that I also wanted to break it down even further. So you can see that there were 40 people finishing within 5 minutes of each other. And then looking at the top times, they were actually pretty evenly spaced, with Kati right up there at the top. And then I always like this chart. We can see how the placements changed from the quarterfinals to the semifinals. In this case, the top 3 stayed the top 3, but everyone else shuffled around a little.
Welcome once again to the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship 2024 Semifinal 2 time. So there's just that one question to ask all of you. Are you ready?
Pues vamos allá en 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Adelante.
Puzzle. Good luck.
All right, so here is the puzzle for the second semifinal. I feel like it looks a little harder than the first round, but we do have a lot of very fast puzzlers in this round. So jumping ahead to 12 minutes, we can see Chiara starting with the pink and the blue flowers. Meanwhile, Marketa has the edge done and has worked out from the middle. Mercedes has done some sorting and has done some of the individual flowers. But of course, at 14 minutes, just look at how much Alejandro has already gotten done.
The thing that's hard with Mercedes is she is sort of like, she's got everything kind of all spread out, and then all of a sudden it starts to come together and you're like, oh, there are not many gaps in there.
Is she ahead of Alejandro?
She might.
She might. This is
She's
gonna be
ahead of
cool.
Alejandro.
And she's fairly regularly.
Oh, yes,
Oh my
Marquetta.
goodness.
Yeah, Marquetta
you guys-
is doing well.
Marquetta, I hope you know that how well you're doing. That's the thing
Right.
about speed puzzling is you have no idea what any other participant is doing. You have no idea if you are in first place or last place.
Isn't it?
Oh my gosh, she's ahead of Alejandro.
I think she's ahead of him, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say she's ahead of him. They're really close, and I have
They are so close.
the rate at which he's putting the pieces in, but she was too. Oh, Mercedes!
Wow, out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Do you know what? This could make Alejandro nervous for the
It
finals.
could, right?
Wow, here she goes. Last few pieces.
Look at her go.
Oh my gosh. Incredible Mercedes. Wow.
Wowie, wow, wow.
Wow.
Oh, we've got tears.
I've got goosebumps. I've got goosebumps.
Right?
Oh, it's so beautiful to see.
Oh my gosh! And is
Marquetta finishing up.
Alejandro going to be third? What is happening, everybody?
Oh my goodness, she's realized she's beaten Alejandro.
Oh,
Outstanding, girls.
I'm
well
emotional
done.
for her. Oh my God.
Right? 34 on the nose, I think, was her time.
Go on. Woo!
She's
Oh,
missing
look at
these.
these. Oh gosh.
There
There
it
it
is.
is. Oh. And I love her puzzle pants. They are so cool.
Yes.
He's smiling.
Smiling. Alejandro's smiling.
He can't believe it.
I can't believe it.
Incredible. What a finish. Wow, that was historic because that was the first time ever that Alejandro has been beaten in an individual event at Worlds. So let's just watch that again. Oh my God. So then, about a minute and a half later, there was another surprise finish.
What?
Yes,
from Ireland
she
and-
is so fast.
A new competitor.
So we,
Oh my gosh!
then Kelly Walter gets 5th. And after looking for a missing piece, Inga gets 6th. And from there, the floodgates open, and they just keep rolling in. And then, once again, the skill of these puzzlers was so high that the room was emptying out.
The last two puzzlers are side by side on the same table, and they look like they're both going to finish.
It's probably almost like a competition between the two of them at this point.
Well done,
Oh, yes.
Well done, Ingrid.
Yeah.
Yep, and now we get to watch.
Yes,
Go. That's support from all over the world.
Yes.
Nice.
So that means that every single person in both semifinal rounds finished the puzzle. That is incredible. That has never happened before. Looking at the top 15, there were definitely some close finishes in this one, and 15th place was a perfect tie. And now that we have both events finished, we can combine the times. And these two puzzles were very well matched. Also, looking at both first place finishes, Kati was literally only 4 seconds ahead of Mercedes. And then combining these times with the quarterfinals, you can see how the first puzzle slotted in, and then also the second puzzle. And finally, you can see how the placement changed from the quarterfinals to the semifinals. This one actually got mixed up quite a bit.
Oh my god, I have so much puzzle dust under my fingers already.
Well, that was already so much, and we're not even halfway through the day. There was a quick break after the individual semifinals, and now it's time for the pairs semifinals. So you can see here exactly how many pairs are making it through. It is definitely very tight competition to make it all the way through to the final. And just like the quarterfinal, we have 75 minutes to solve a 500-piece puzzle. And I also just really quickly wanted to mention a change that I really like this year for both the individual and the pairs events. They made it so that everybody gets the semifinal puzzle, even if you didn't qualify for the semifinals. All you had to do was show your badge, which they scanned, and then you got the semifinal puzzle just for participating in the event.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
get nothing!
It's busy. This is good for you.
I think so. I do kind of like the flowers on the edge, but I don't know if that's like gonna actually go as well as I think it might.
Okay, yeah, I barely looked. This is not my strongest
Kind of puzzle, yeah.
But I don't
Well, you should definitely do edge then,
Yeah,
but
I'll
may
edge.
give me the flowers if you see them, although they don't actually go all the way to the edge on some of it, so I don't know.
And then I feel like it's just like finding colors that jump out, making little sections, and then putting them in place within the edge. I think it's going to be one of those types. So here is the puzzle. We haven't seen a lot of collage style images at Worlds before, So this was a surprise. So most of the pairs are starting this puzzle pretty similarly, with one person on edge and the other person getting small sections together.
This rock is going to go here. Yeah, there's a lot of very similar blues, and even if it looks like it goes in one, it might go in another. Come on. Go in. I got it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, this is one where you just have to recognize what's on each individual piece and just keep referring to the box to get it in place. There really aren't big sections to sort, so you're really just building up the entire puzzle all at once.
I love these when you get to this stage that they're at, because it does sort of feel like you can pick up any pieces and find where they go.
And that's such a fun rush as well.
Yeah,
you know that you're on it.
They're just like zooming and you're just flying through it, and it's such a good feeling.
So at 20 minutes, we're doing fine. But look at some of these other teams. It is so close. They are all heading into the home stretch.
Someone has to be finishing like now.
I can feel the energy shifting.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Melissa and Hannah, come on. I don't think they can believe it.
Best reaction yet. They could not believe that they won this round. Then 20 seconds later, the Brigidas get second. 17 seconds after that, Andrea and Kelly get third. And then right after them, Becca and Alice get fourth. And then it's Teresa and Marquetta for fifth. And all 5 of those finishes were within 1 minute of each other.
I jumped. I literally jumped.
I know.
So then, a minute later, Kristen and Linda finished for 6th. And then Sarah and Lauren got 7th. And then the finishes just kept coming in. Tiffany and I had shape sorted by this point, and we were just trying to get in those last few pieces.
Sorry. No, I was wrong. Where are these?
Other way.
Other way. Done. That was so good.
That was good. Okay. Yay!
I felt a lot better about that.
I lost it in the middle there for a little bit.
No, but as soon as I stopped, you picked it up. As soon as you stopped, I picked it up. Good teamwork.
So Tiffany and I ended up in 15th place. And since we had placed 7th in our quarterfinal, that's pretty much exactly where we expected to be.
Oh no, Karen, what happened? We tried to do a puzzle pickup, and now we have to do the puzzle again. It's fine, we like puzzles.
Okay, so looking at the charts, you can see the top 5 right on top of each other. And once again, everyone did really well. Only 2 pairs didn't finish, and only 1 pair took over an hour. And then we can see how the placements changed. So Melissa and Hannah really jumped up there, and there were a lot of changes in these rankings.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, this puzzle was another surprise because it's not at all similar to the last puzzle. Instead, it's a classic Ravensburger illustration of a European street. So in this round, we have Victor and Natalia going up against Alejandro and Gisela. We've also got Chiara and Kati, and you can see that they've done a bunch of sorting up front. Now, something you may have noticed is that the people up front get their own tables, while the people in the back still have to share. For the semifinals and the finals, the tables are assigned in order based on your placement in the previous round. So it's just a little perk for the higher placing puzzlers that they get their own table. So if you remember, I didn't get my own table for the individual semifinals, but Tiffany and I did for the pairs semifinal.
Do you know what? I had an interesting conversation with Alejandro yesterday. I questioned him wearing glasses this year. And I said to him, are you finding you puzzle faster? And he said he hasn't noticed his speed change at all. However, he did say today he was going to do a puzzle without his glasses and see the difference. And I thought, wow, what a place to try it.
Right? I'll just
What a
wing
place
the
to try it.
semifinals.
Right. Yeah. I said, are you going to test it here? He's like, yeah, why not?
All right, we're not even 19 minutes in, and some of these puzzles are getting so close.
You blink and you look again and it's like so much has changed. But yeah, I mean, okay, the last round it was 2309. We just said we thought this puzzle was a little more difficult.
I think it's going to be in the 20s.
Well, it's definitely going to be, but is it going to be faster than 2309? I think it could be.
Nice! Wow. 22 minutes.
Look at that. And I mean, you got to cut right over to them because I got to think they're going to be done within a minute. Within a minute.
Yes. Wow. Within the same minute?
Yeah. And this is, again, only seconds between them.
Right.
This is going to be less than a minute as well.
I've got goosebumps on my leg.
I know. Oh, and here's Kati and Kara getting in just before Mercedes and Bobby.
Yeah. Oh, they have a piece. Oh, there it is.
23:49 or so, right around there.
Yeah. This promises good things for the final.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be so exciting,
Yeah,
everyone.
I'm actually nervous
But
about
it does change. I mean, it's 1,000 Ps.
Well, that was fast. Alejandro and Gisela won once again by almost a full minute. This time, only one pair didn't finish, and only two were over an hour. And then, looking at the placement changes, this one actually stayed pretty similar with who was placed high from the quarterfinals. So now we can look at the two puzzles combined, and even though the pictures were so different, they were actually very evenly matched. And then adding in the quarterfinal puzzles, these are all of the finishes under 30 minutes. All of them are represented except for that flower puzzle. And finally, since the pair's final will be 1,000 pieces, we can actually look at this one now. These are the top 15 finishes of all of the 500-piece pairs puzzles, and Alejandro and Gisela have both of those top spots. So a big congratulations to our semifinal winners and to everybody who finished their puzzle.
They are just like, there's so many finishes happening. I hope the volunteers are able to keep track of all this.
The support that they all have for each other is just so amazing, and I think that's why we all want to come back every year. It's next level.
I mean, it's not just addictive, the puzzling aspect, it's addictive to hang out with all these wonderful people.
I mean, we didn't place, but we were so happy just to have finished and to have gotten a good time.
That's
and
beautiful.
to have been able to do this together. And that's what I've noticed about the entire community. It's all about being that community.
Yes.
It's like you were saying last year, it's all very wholesome.
I think we are the most wholesome content on the internet, I think is probably fair to say.
So before we get to teams, let's just see what else was going on outside of the competition.
This is actually really clever.
That is.
Wow.
Who won?
The first one I won. The first two I didn't.
Sorting them so that they can check all of the numbers later. I think they do a double check of all of this.
Okay, it's me.
So hanging around here to chat means you get put to work.
Yeah.
I see the Chihuahua. I've got to find out about that Chihuahua. I'm obsessed. Okay, I don't know, Jeanette, have you met the Chihuahua?
Yeah, I met her. I've got a picture with her.
What? Yeah. Okay, show me the picture immediately. Okay. I am so jealous right now. That it is the most adorable Chihuahua, and I need to meet the Chihuahua. If you see the Chihuahua,
I make sure to bring
him over.
Yeah.
Have we got a celebrity arriving?
This is Chabella.
Chabella. Has anyone guessed yet who our special guest Chabella is?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I am so in love.
So she came all the way from Mexico.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the dress. Oh my goodness.
A dress.
Good evening, everyone. It's semi-final time in the teams category. First semi-final.
Oh, wow. What a hoot.
All right, it is time for the first teams event of the competition and the first 1,000-piece puzzles of the competition. We're at the end of day 3, and this round goes from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So the sun will be going down and the lighting will be playing a part. But the team's qualifying rounds work a little differently. Before the round starts, 4 1,000-piece puzzles are placed on each table. You can look at them from over the barrier, and once they let you onto the floor, you can look at the smaller images on the side, but you can't touch the puzzles until they say to. Then you have 90 seconds to choose 2 puzzles to solve. Once the round starts, you have 3 hours to solve both puzzles, but you can only work on them one at a time, and the first puzzle has to be completely back in the box before you can start the second puzzle. So you'll have teams working on different puzzles from each other, which might be a little confusing, but it adds an element of skill of choosing and recognizing which 2 would be the easiest puzzles. Although there isn't always one right answer. I mean, a team might be better at photos versus illustrations, or vice versa.
This is your minute and a half. Starts now. Minute up to decide which 2 puzzles you're going to do. And of course you can choose which order you're going to do the ones. Are you ready? Well, let's do it then. Let's get it underway in 5,
4,
4,
3, 2, 1. Adelante, equipos.
Puzzle, good luck to you.
Go. Oh, okay, it's murkier than we thought, which we expected. Yeah. Okay, that's why we're doing it first. Let's go. Let's go, you guys.
Okay, so these are the 4 puzzles they got to choose from, and, wow. These are all really hard. So feel free to pause and look at the images and make your guess for what you think would be the easiest 2 puzzles. So let's see what everyone chose. The Aussie All-Stars are starting with the Queen's Garden, which is definitely the easiest and the most popular choice. But on their sheet, you can see that their second puzzle is going to be the cow. And then Wicked Quick have the same 2 puzzles, but in the opposite order. Now, usually you'd want to start with the easier puzzle so you can get as many pieces in place as possible, just in case you don't finish both of them. But in this case, the daylight is fading, and so they're doing the darker one while they still have the most light to see the details. So then we have Chiara and Lorenzo's team, Jigsaw, and they're starting with the garden puzzle.
No, keep puzzling, keep puzzling.
I love that there's no way you can avoid a landscape puzzle.
No, right? I know.
If you're not a landscape puzzling team, you're in trouble because 3 out of 4 are landscapes.
So, jumping ahead, the Aussie All-Stars are the first team to finish their first puzzle.
Go girls, go, 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 well done.
608.
Pack it up, on to the next one. Now what puzzle have they chosen?
They don't even look at it yet, just in the box it goes. Oh, they chose the cow!
So then, 2 minutes later, Jigsaw also finish the Queen's Garden puzzle. And then there are only 2 more teams who finish their first puzzle in under an hour. And both of them were also doing the garden puzzle. Meanwhile, Wicked Quick were struggling through that cow puzzle. The puzzle was definitely darker than it looked on the box. So once you had the more distinct parts, it was just a whole lot of very similar dark pieces. But at an hour 2, Wicked Quick is the first team to finish a non-garden puzzle. And then a minute after them, 2 more teams also finish that dark cow puzzle.
Another team finishing at Queen's Garden.
I'm trying to get all the finishing times.
Oh, they're doing the
sending them into
cactus
Val.
one. Yeah,
Oh, did you see that?
They got to put it away. Yep, she made him wait. I love that. They are not allowed to. You got to get the other one put away before you can start opening the next one. Exactly. So the judge kind of stopped them there and was like, nope, get it going. No overlapping of the two puzzles. Completely put away that one, and then you can access your second one. There you go.
So, okay, this is going to be interesting. The Aussie All-Stars and Jigsaw were only 2 minutes apart switching puzzles, but the Australians are now doing the cow puzzle, while Jigsaw are doing the cactus puzzle. Valerie and Diarn were on the live stream debating which of those two puzzles would be easier, and they actually pulled me in to give my opinion too.
All right, I wasn't expecting to be on the live stream,
no,
but here I am.
Just grabbed you.
Here I am.
So if this were your team, what do you think you would be doing?
I messaged my team.
You did?
And so we've been discussing. Well, we all agreed on the garden, definitely. Okay. But my first instinct was the cactus.
Yes! Yes, Karen, yes! You are just going to gloat over this all day long. But we will see how this shakes out, right?
So we're an hour and a half in. By this point, we had left to have dinner with my team to prepare for our event the next day. So I only have live stream footage, but if we zoom in, the cactus puzzle seems to be going faster than the cow puzzle. If we zoom in even further, you can see that the Australians already shape sorted, even with quite a few pieces left.
I can feel my energy deflating as I watch the Aussies struggle with that dark puzzle. I mean, Diarn, I hate to admit it, but I think you were right.
So, Jigsaw finish at an hour 43 for first place.
And there's our first team. There's our first champion team. Number one, going to Italy.
Our first team through.
They definitely made the right call choosing the cactus and avoiding the cow. When they finish, you can see the Australians' progress, and Wicked Quick are also getting close, but it's a full 12 minutes later until the Aussie All-Stars finish for second.
Go team, well done. Nice.
And then 5 minutes after them, Wicked Quick get third.
They've all huddled in that corner. 2:01:24. I'm just exhausted watching all of this, quite honestly. So we have an hour to go. Any regrets?
I will say the cow was a lot darker than we thought it would be looking at the box.
We definitely did just go out, collapse in the grass, and go, what is color? I don't remember.
So a bunch of teams finished over the next hour, and I'll get into all of the numbers, but I want to give a special shout out to the 4 teams who finished within the very last minute. That must have been such a relief.
2, 1, time is up.
Well done, everybody.
So, looking at the data, you can see that only 22 teams out of 98 finished both of their puzzles. And then, if I add color coding, you can see which teams did which puzzles. The most popular was Queen's Garden, but then quite a few teams did the cow puzzle too. We can actually look at that data as a pie chart to see all of the exact numbers, and note how only 4 teams attempted the German castle puzzle. So then, looking at which combinations everyone chose, the garden/cow was the most popular, and not a single team attempted the cow/German castle. Probably for the best. Those two are really hard. So then, looking at the top 15, you can see exactly which puzzles they chose and in which order. And finally, we can look at the top times for each puzzle. The Aussie All-Stars were number 1 on the Queen's Garden. Then on the Cactus puzzle, Jig Spaghetti was pretty far ahead. For the cow, Wicked Quick had the fastest time. And then, only one single team finished the German castle. So a huge shout out to Puzzle Gantz from Germany. All right, we have made it to day 4. This is the last full day of competition, and it was a big day because we have the other 2 teams qualifying rounds in the morning, and then the pairs final, and then the individual final. So our teams round started bright and early at 9 a.m. So Tiffany, Kat, Kelly, and I met up at 8:30, right as they were putting out the puzzles. All right, this is always like the most exciting part when we find out what the puzzles are. We're behind the barrier, so you know, we can see what they're putting out. We can't go up to them until they let us into the tables.
We can see the stack of puzzles behind Karen on Val's commentary station, and TBD on which ones we're gonna do.
2 of them are gardens, which we suspected, but hoped wouldn't happen.
I mean, we can try zooming in on the phone. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah?
Well, eventually, they did put them right in front of the barrier so we could see what they were. And I'm going to show them to you now so you can follow along with what we're talking about. So feel free to make your guess about which 2 you think would be easiest.
There actually might be slightly more differentiation in the green on that one.
So remember when we were talking about the cactuses, we need to look for difference in texture, and whichever one has the most difference in texture is probably the best bet.
Because also the red flowers on that, they stick out because they're colorful and the rest of it isn't. But like, that's gonna be a nightmare to do too.
Yeah, I mean, the second one down, I'm happy to do that gradient sky. I think that's very doable. Yeah. It's just that the red only takes up a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that this 200-piece section is going to be the hardest part of that puzzle, other than the green.
Yeah, I mean, I've done puzzles with just a lot of greenery in there, and we would just be, I think, shape sorting, 300 pieces?
So, personally, I would rather do bottom edge than I would do red.
I can do red, or yeah, one of us can do red. Okay, I feel good about our plan.
Okay, I literally have a full 20 minutes of footage of just us discussing these 4 puzzles, which I think means they chose well because there weren't 2 obvious ones. Well, there was one obvious one. We immediately knew we were going to do the Magical Forest puzzle, and at this point we had ruled out Vampire's Castle because we thought it looked too dark. So we had pretty much decided on Madeira because we thought the garden puzzle was a trap.
I agree. It just seems too inviting. You know what I mean? That it feels like a trap.
That's a good one.
Isn't that like a Star Wars?
It is. It's a trap, Admiral Akbar.
Yeah. So we thought it was a trap because when you look at it, you think you can separate by color, but look at each of these blocks of color. There just isn't a lot of different stuff going on within them. So then we could head to the table, but we still couldn't touch the puzzles until they said to.
Wait, I think I've done this before. I did it as an escape puzzle.
I remember that one. I did it too.
Okay. So once we could take a closer look, Tiffany and Kat recognized that they had done the vampire puzzle before, but as the escape puzzle version.
I think it's a better choice. The colored flags, the mirror, the casket in the front, there's a little bit of purple.
I hate making decisions.
Here's your minute and a half. Decision time, and check those seals, please.
Well, this one's a yes. Okay, this one's a no. I mean, this one has a lot of lines and textures. I think it might be okay,
I actually think this might might be a better choice.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What have you been
And I think we would do this one first then.
Yeah. We can knock this out really fast.
Yeah.
That's time up.
Oh man, we made our choice. We can go back now.
Okay, so at the last minute, we changed our plan and took a risk. We were worried that the vampire puzzle could be a repeat of the cow puzzle from last night, but looking at them side by side, the vampire one looks like it has more different stuff going on. Plus, it was daytime, so we were hoping we could see the details better in the daylight.
Well then, the big question. Are you ready?
I know, a lot of teams are doing garden.
Well, let's do it then. In
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Adelante.
Puzzle.
You got it. Okay, we need to remember where that is.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Should I turn this?
Okay, Kat, I'm putting edges onto this tray over here.
Make
Okay.
your own edge pile and give them to me later.
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of want to take all the purple, which we don't need to start sorting now, but I think that's...
I'm gonna do the
start for
house
me.
pieces. Oh, this is really, there's black lines outlining everything.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sorry, that's a good thing.
Okay, so our biggest competition in this round is the Polish team looking for the One Piece. Now, I just want to remind you guys that Victor has already had 2 puzzle incidents. He had to go running for a lost piece in his individual quarterfinal.
No kidding. No.
And then he and Natalia had to dig into their neighbors' pieces in their pairs quarterfinal.
I wonder what will happen for teams.
I know, right?
Meanwhile, I finished the edge at about 14 minutes in, and we stayed really organized here. We only put things inside the edge if we knew geographically where they would go.
Oh, this puzzle is so cute. I'm so happy.
So at about 20 minutes, the garden puzzles are coming along. Not So Peaceful are working up from the bottom of the sky, while Natalia is working down from the top of the sky. Then we had another switch, and since I ended up right in front of the pieces, I ended up doing more sorting than I usually do, just recognizing pieces and giving them to whoever was working on that section.
Charlie, you want to tell us what's happening? What are people picking?
Well, it's not often you can say that 50% of these people are on mushrooms. But that definitely seems to be the
you were
case
preparing that line.
So at 33 minutes, we're making really good progress.
Oh, sorry. Wait, I saw a piece. There you go. I saw it as I was already moving.
But then checking in with looking for the One Piece, just as we suspected, there is so much shape sorting, even in the colorful sections. But you can't really compare our progress because we did our easy one first, whereas they did their hard one first, and then they're going to move on to the magical forest. But at 40 minutes, we are just flying through.
Sorry.
No, you're good, you're good.
All up in your business.
This is what it's gonna be right now.
This goes right here.
What
the?
You said that's so funny.
Sorry.
No, I loved it.
Get ready to grab the puzzle to your left, Tiffany.
I think the bottom is by me, so I'll do that and fold it up. But we can't do it until we fold it up, so.
Good.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, I need the top.
Okay. That was 43 minutes, by the way.
Great job, guys.
Good.
Oh my god, come on. Go box on.
Once we're done flipping and edges are sorted over here, Tiffany, I'm going to swap with you so I can sort.
Okay, what am I seeing? I'm seeing the chandelier, I'm seeing the red stuff, the rug at the bottom looks good.
There's a lot to sort.
So we were the first team to switch to our second puzzle, but now it's the moment of truth. it's time to find out just how hard this vampire puzzle really is. While we got started on that, it was another 4 minutes until the next team finished their first puzzle. And then about 40 seconds after them, the third team switched over. So then the finishes just kept coming in. But if you notice, every single one of these early finishes are the magical forest puzzle. So it's definitely the easiest of the 4. And it's not until 57 minutes that Looking for the One Piece finish the garden puzzle. So they're the first to finish a non-magical forest puzzle. Oh no, look! Those pieces went right off the table. Remember that for later. And then I also want to give a mention to Red Fruit Lovers, which is the team Kati was on. They chose the Madeira puzzle, and it took them 1 hour and 6 minutes, and that was the fastest that anyone did that puzzle. But back to us, I got started on the edge, and this edge was hard. Every single piece was so dark, but there were so many kind of floating elements in this puzzle that I really wanted a frame to contain them.
The last bit of this puzzle might be horrible, but honestly, this is like rocking right now, guys. I mean, I did choose the colorful parts to start with.
So it's not until 1 hour in, which is 17 minutes after we started the puzzle, that I finished the edge.
I think we're right, Kiara. I think choosing the 2 illustrations was the way to go on this one, because I think you've got some really large sections of just greenery in both of those puzzles that I think are going to prove to be a real hard. Yeah, like really bring down the momentum on your team. Whereas I look at the American team and they're just never stopping. This is where it gets interesting in this team's qualifying round, because puzzle choice is so important.
So we started off strong, but after we got the most obvious elements in place, we definitely slowed down once the rest of the pieces looked pretty similar to each other.
If you want to switch, Kat, if you want a different view.
If you need one, I'm down for switching.
I'm good, yeah. I'm taking my pieces with me, but...
She put them on the dark tray and not on the light tray. That's surprising.
We've talked about this theory of putting the dark pieces on the dark board, and whether that's actually better at making the dark pieces stand out.
I wonder whether they have just 2 sets of pieces or whether they sorted them, because they
I bet they've sorted them.
Okay, so we were getting super close, and we were just puzzling along. No idea if anyone else was also close.
There's like this fuzzy kind of like tan line.
Yeah.
Oh,
if
yeah.
anybody sees it, it goes up here.
Stuff up here has a slight brown tinge to it.
Got some dark ones up here that are like have nothing on them other than being dark.
But then the live stream suddenly cuts to Looking for the One Piece, and they're also just about to finish.
They all are smiling like they know it's coming down there.
They know.
If only
they
the
have less pieces.
I don't know that the Americans are moving as quickly.
No.
I wonder if they're just sort of like.
I think.
Well, but they have them on the puzzle, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is
4 pieces.
Close.
Where's the piece? They lost the piece. How do they always lose a piece?
Oh,
they did it! What just happened?
just got the foot screen.
What just happened? Wow.
No, other way. Other way. That one took us like an hour. Cat. Oh my god.
Did we finish at like the same?
Oh my god.
And they finished before you, but they're missing a piece.
No way.
I just stood up and saw them standing. I was like,
great job,
no.
guys.
Okay, that was crazy. So here's exactly what happened. Looking for the One Piece placed their second to last piece at 140.14, but they were missing a piece, so they started looking. Then we placed our last piece at 140.19, and then they find the missing piece and they place it at 140.20. So they were within the 10-second penalty, so that didn't come into effect. So since we placed our last piece 1 second before them, we won by 1 second. You might say they were looking for the One Piece.
I wonder what will happen for teams.
I know, right?
Beat them by 1 second.
So was us.
You first.
Because their piece was on the floor and they took the time to pick it up. Oh my gosh. Wow.
1 second.
That's crazy.
140.19, 140.20.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I'll get to all of the data in a minute, but just comparing our two teams, you can see the exact times for both puzzles, and if we rearrange it, they were 41 seconds faster than us on the Magical Forest puzzle, but we were 42 seconds faster on the second puzzle choice. It's wild that we did different puzzles and it was still so close. But in the end, this one doesn't really matter because we both easily qualified for the finals.
People were like, it's prophetic. It's like a prophecy. That
I said they jinxed it.
Yeah, you gonna change the name before the final? Like,
Not looking for the missing piece or something.
yeah, right? Did you know there was another team?
No.
Like, right
No
on your
clue.
tail?
No idea.
No.
No clue. I mean, I think we put in the last piece, we cheered, and we had no idea what else was happening.
Yeah, I looked up right after we finished and I saw that they were standing still and I was like, oh no. I think they finished first.
But we didn't hear any big cheers leading up to it.
That's because everybody in the crowd was like speechless. Like, what just happened?
I will say, if I'm remembering right, I think I put in the last piece, and did I have it backwards at first? So if I had taken an extra second to like turn it around.
Oh no.
Anyway, after all of that, it was a full 10 minutes until the Peaky Puzzlers finished for third, and this is Veronica's team. And then there were a bunch of finishes all right in a row. So let's look at the data. 43 teams finished both puzzles, which is double the amount from the first round. And once it's color-coded, you can see just how many teams did that Magical Forest puzzle and how much faster it was than the other puzzles. Looking at the pie chart, there were 100 teams in this round, and 95 of them did the forest puzzle. But then the vampire and the flower puzzles were actually pretty similar. And so looking at the combinations, it was pretty even who did forest and flowers versus forest and vampire. And not a single team chose both of the landscapes. So looking at the top 15, you can see the full breakdown, and all 4 puzzles are represented here in the top 15. So even with all of that discussion we had, I really don't think any of these puzzles would have been disastrous for us. The forest puzzle was obviously the fastest, but then the times for the vampire puzzle and the flower puzzle were very similar. And then with the Madeira puzzle, we only have one significantly fast solve, but they were still at just over an hour, so not too far off the other times. But I do think our team is stronger at illustrations, so avoiding the photos worked out well for us. So last year, my team won our team's qualifying round, and this year, even with a different team, we won again. So I'm feeling pretty good about the teams round.
This one has a lot of fun texture. It's the sky that's going to suck a little bit, but it has a texture on it. So are we good? Yeah. Okay.
Are you ready?
Pues vamos allá en 5,
In 5,
4,
4,
3,
3, 2, 1.
Adelante.
Puzzle.
Yeah, Dawn got it.
There you go.
Dawn's good at pouring.
All right, we have made it to the third team's semifinal. These are the 4 puzzles they got, so make your guess now about which 2 you think would be easiest. Except, I'm just going to tell you right now, because almost all of the top teams did these 2 puzzles. They're definitely easier than all of the landscapes from the first 2 rounds, and the theory floating around is that they purposefully gave them easier puzzles so that the people competing in the pairs and individual finals later this afternoon would have a little bit more of a break in between them. Now, this round is stacked. We have We Put the Betch in You Betcha, who won 2nd place at US Nationals. Then we've got Alejandro's team, Nonstop. Then we've got Kristen's team, the Arctic Puzzlers. And the frontrunners coming into this event, the Czech Puzzle Queens. Teresa and Marketa were on the winning Czech team last year, but this year they added Jana and Katerina, and every single member of this team has gotten a 1st place finish at Worlds. So then, teaming up for the first time, we have the Reuters plus Andrea and Becca, and they're the Busy Birdies. And When in Dome, which everyone agreed is the best team name this year. And we have Need for Speed, which is Mercedes, Vonda, and the Brigidas. I mean, this round alone is almost as competitive as the final.
I think people don't realize that it is physical. Like, you do work up a sweat, especially if you're standing the whole time. Anytime you're pushing yourself like this, it is a strain. It is a physical strain. I know people probably would think that's ridiculous, but it is exhausting. Look at the Czech Puzzle Queens. There they are, and they're killing it. They take this seriously. They work hard at it, and then they bring it. They bring it in all ways. They bring it in the fashion, and they have the attitude, and they are just like here to rock it. I just love their vibe. I don't think they have much more than a minute left there to go.
Well, the Czech Puzzle Queens were first, but Nonstop is right behind them. They finish the van and switch to New York about 90 seconds later. Then it's another 3 minutes until Need for Speed also make the same switch. Lynn Pulsern also finished the van, but they're switching to the houses, which is the first time we've seen one of those other puzzles from one of the top teams. Then the Siberian team is the first team to finish the New York puzzle. Then When in Dome finishes the van. And then the Busy Birdies also finish New York. So that one seems to be a pretty similar difficulty to the van, since 2 teams have already finished it.
There.
Here. Okay.
Done?
Okay.
Okay.
You have the bottom box? I have the bottom. Okay.
Line these up.
Here's the next one.
Ah, okay, whatever. It's fine. It's under the table.
Next one.
All right.
All right, we're back to Sky.
We're back to Sky. We're back to Sky.
So, as we're passing an hour, once again, it's the Czech puzzle queens who are just flying through their second puzzle.
Mire.
16, wow.
So it's the Czech puzzle queens who easily win this one. Everyone expected them to dominate the teams round, and they did not disappoint. I also just want to point something out. Before this, the record for the fastest teams puzzle at Worlds and the record for the fastest full team solve at Worlds was my team, the Misfits. But the Czech puzzle queens just beat both of those records. That was such an incredible performance. So it's 6 minutes later until the Siberian team finishes for second, and then 2 minutes after them, Nonstop finish for third. Another 2 minutes later, the Busy Birdies get fourth.
Wow, good job, 119.50. Well done.
And then we can see Need for Speed with their last few pieces right on top of the puzzle. And they finish for fifth.
Chug them into every place.
I'm proud that you took over the Sky.
Thank you. Don't say those things right now. I'm really emotional lately, okay?
Okay, well, don't cry now. Then you're not going to be able to see. Cry when we're done. I cannot find that one, Sarah.
I will hold these in my hand until I find the stupid piece.
All right.
I need that one.
Piece.
Not that one. Where'd that one that you just had go? This one. This one. It's none of these.
This one.
Yeah! Go for it. Four-way high five. Four-way high five. Four-way high five. Good job.
So it was a full 10 minutes between 5th and 6th place, but then only 20 seconds between 6th and 7th. And then only another 30 seconds until the Arctic Puzzlers got 8th. So remember how Lynn Pulsern had chosen the houses puzzle? Well, they were the first team to finish with a puzzle besides the van and New York, and they got 11th. So now let's look at the data. This time, 64 teams finished both of their puzzles, which is the highest amount we've seen so far. And if we add the color coding, you can see just how well represented the Van and New York puzzles were. And again, you can see that in the pie chart, only 5 teams chose the Germany puzzle, and only 1 team finished it.
Okay.
Just about to
finish. Oh, you go, girls.
Nice.
Come on.
Oh, I'm so happy for them getting this one done.
Same. Go on. I'm going to give them a round of applause.
Right?
Back to the data. You can see how much of an overwhelming majority chose the van and skyscraper combination. And this time, there were 3 combinations that not a single team chose. And looking at the top 15, you can see again how it was almost entirely Van and New York. And you can also see a few different spots where a few teams were really close, and then there was a big jump to the next group. So looking at the top times individually, the Czech puzzle queens were the fastest on both of those easier puzzles. And you can really see just how much easier they were than the other 2 puzzles. And then combining all 3 rounds, you can really see which puzzles were the most popular and how many of them actually got finished. So, a big congratulations to our 3 #1 teams. And I can't believe I get to put myself in there this time.
I love competition, so finding a way to make puzzles competitive was perfect for me.
There could not be a better atmosphere. Everyone comes and they go, wow, this is a holiday.
What is great about this week is that when you're walking down the streets, no matter what cafe you go past, there are people puzzling in the hotels, in the hotel bars, outside with using that natural light at the cafes with the outdoor seating and the tables. There are puzzlers everywhere.
So that is it for the semifinals. All that's left is to find out who is the fastest pair, individual, and team in the entire world. And that's what I'm going to be covering in my next video. So thank you again to Ravensburger for supplying all of the puzzles and for sponsoring this video. So let me know down in the comments if you guessed right for any of those teams rounds. And stay tuned, because if you thought these rounds were intense, just wait until the finals.